What up, YouTube? Here we are with a wonderful video. We're going to talk about sprinters or sprinting and lifting. Well, how do we lift? What are we supposed to lift? All the wonderful things. Last week, I made a video about gymnastics and sprinting. If you didn't check it out, it has me break down exactly what I'm going to focus on in this video. It's just something that I recognize as being a coach, as being a husband, as being an athlete. And here's the first thing I want to discuss. I don't think all things in the weight room are one size fits all. I avoid that at all costs. When a person says this worked for me, I try to take what I've learned from that person, if it benefits my athletes. I take that little nugget that they gave me, and I try to apply it the best way I can to my program. And a lot of times it doesn't work. And sometimes it's just too early. It's not that it won't work, it's just sometimes too early. So when we talk about the weight room, we look at athletes that was pushed around social media, like Saquon Barkley doing this wonderful power clean. We get into, wow, this is insane. You know, I'm only power cleaning 140 pounds, or I'm only power cleaning 200 pounds. Most of us don't focus on what was the programming, or what weight room programming did he have before he got to that point. Then we have Jalen Hurts, who squatted, I believe it was 600 pounds in this squat. That is phenomenal. That is amazing. What was his programming? How did he get there? Was he a power lifter in high school? All those elements is not discussed. If I had a time to talk to Jalen Hurts, I definitely would bring that stuff up. But anyway, then we have Asafa Powell. You know, what was his programming? Elite sprinter. We're talking about super elite sprinter. The elite sprinter who broke 10 seconds, 10-second barrier almost 100 times, 98 I believe is the number. What is his programming? How do we develop anything? How do we develop things like him? How do we get to those places to where we're elite, not only in the weight room, meaning our understanding of the weight room, and then where we can be elite in the sense of athletes, you know, especially as sprinters, because in every sport, most sports, I'm not talking about golf, but you get my point. Most sports, you have to sprint, or you have to run, or it'd be nice for you to run fast. There's so many elements out there. There's so many different examples. And then this wonderful young lady, happened to know very well. I call her Bams. Her name is Haley. Her little tag is up. Not a little tag. Her tag is up on on my page of her page on Instagram. But she was a sprinter, and now she's in CrossFit, and she's doing amazing at it. Again, is she developing to go out and sprint? No, she actually goes to competitions. I don't know how well she does. I really don't care, because I'm more just excited that she's out there still pushing her body to a limit and having fun doing it. So is she wrong for doing CrossFit if she's trying to sprint? I mean, that's a whole discussion I can have with her or any other athlete who comes my direction. We can explain, I could break down. It's like, okay, what are you trying to accomplish? She wants to accomplish her competitions, and she's doing an amazing job. So what makes a perfect sprinter, or an elite sprinter, or just a sprinter in general? My method that I go with, various stimulations, and when it comes to the weight room, and various stimulation, all the stimulations that you can get, especially when you have developing athletes. And just because an athlete may be 21, 22, and they come to me and I see that they can't do this exercise right or this exercise right, we start with the general strength work. What's general strength work? General strength work, we know as I'm just going to name a couple, I'm not going to name all, as the squat, as the bench press, as the deadlift, as the overhead press. That's a good one. I actually love that one. And chin up or pull up. There's different ways you can implement that into your program. Now, a lot of people say, or I've heard people say, I don't want to say a lot of people, but people say the bench press, like, no, we shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be doing back squats. You should be doing front squats. I just said general strength. Focus on those for general strength. I'm talking about athletes who can barely understand their bodies and barely understand the coordination. So working on general strength is important. And there's many, you can actually switch that up and add bands or chains or different things they have for just general strength. I'm talking about a developing athlete who wants to be a sprinter or who wants to run faster. You have to focus on those general things. At least I definitely focus on those general things first. The other thing that is, I ain't gonna say it's not talked about enough, but I focus on body weight exercise, how you move your body, how their body moves as they're doing jump squats, as they're doing the RDL, as they're doing push-ups, as their elbows out. Is their core strong enough to even hold them in the plank position with their hands on the ground? Body weight exercises are important, so focusing on those little those simple body weight exercises are extremely important for building strength and coordination. And that's always the biggest thing. I always got to throw coordination in there, because to run fast you need to be some sense, you definitely need to be coordinated, and all these things can help with coordination but you have to build the general and the body weight strength first, and grow from there. So with my athletes, the athletes I have, the athletes that I train, the athletes I will train in the future, I focus on those things first. I focus on the general strength. I focus on what body weight. How do you move? How do you correct yourself in a bad posture, position, or whatever? What am I getting from all these things? So right now with my athletes, because we have focused on a lot of this stuff, and they've been with me for years, so I'm now focused on specific strength. An exercise like the one arm snatch to a split. Is certain elements, and why I definitely pick why I want it in this hand opposed to the other hand, why we do the split. All these things are specific strength exercises. It looks cool, but you can also do the same thing with the barbell, doing basically a hang clean to a split. The other thing is a shoulder push press. I do a lot of shoulder push press with my athletes, working on specific strength. Now, everybody knows what a shoulder push press. I look for different things in their hips. I want their hips to be in a certain position before they push. And that's the coordination of understanding. I want the bar at the top, and at this particular point when their hips reach a certain point, and we discuss that as we develop and as we get better. So this specific part is I take all these things and I try to say these little simple things specific, and every athlete is different, focusing on their specific strength exercises in their training is important for me. I focus on that tremendously. The next exercise is a goblet squat. Yes, I focus on, we do back squats, obviously, to work on technique, but I also use the goblet squat just to work on some dorsiflexion. I tell them always, don't get to that point to where you see the butt wink, all that. I'm looking for explosiveness. And yes, I do most of these exercises year round. Again, I'm not going into all my exercises, but here's some that I focus on. Just specific strength, what I really want to do, or what the athlete really wants to accomplish. So let's throw in some goblet squat with a jump. Why not put the jump in there to be more explosive? And the last thing I'll share is the low. I got that from Lolo Jones. Years ago, there was a video on YouTube circulating, and she was doing this exercise. I actually tried to implement it years ago, but it was too early for some of my athletes because they didn't have the coordination. And that's where I started to develop my program better, to where I developed the coordination. And we do a lot of this exercise just to work on coordination, seeing where their foot placement is, seeing if they're coordinated enough to even do it, and then where do I have to drum back and dial back from there, just so when their coordination develops and everything develops, they become more explosive and become better sprinters. So what method are you on when it comes to being an athlete? It's always good to touch all those bases. Just because you can focus on going back to some general strength, focusing on some body weight exercise, and then graduating or implementing some specific strength, and then tying it all back together, because I think all of it's important. And that's the thing. All of this is important. Bringing in the conscious aspect to it, which I always bring in my videos. All of that is important. There is no one way in strength and conditioning. There's no one way in life. People have methods, and they have solutions, and they have problems, and then a person can offer different solutions. But here's what the principal thing of all this is. You get to decide where you want to be in your life. You get to choose. You don't let anything define you. You don't let a race define you. You don't let not making that last play define you. None of that define you. It's a game, and it's a game we all love. It's there to make us a better person for who we want to be in the future. So none of that defines you. You do not let the clock define you. Clock versus sprinter. I just want to drop that one. Well, you let none of this define you. So you have the outstanding ability to choose, and choose your own reality. So peace out, YouTube. Hey, folks. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, yeah, hit that bell, so you can know more about Swift Sundays.